Hello, welcome to another Square-based event report. This is where we look at everything that happened at the Rise of Champions GT this weekend. It was another sold-out event here at the TSN Arena, 24 people battling out to become the champions, and it was an incredibly fun event. I think if I have one key takeaway from this weekend, is about 60% of the people were new or people who hadn't attended events here before. Some people were returning players from things like large 9th Age events, and some people were brand new to 2-day events and hadn't been to them before. And I want to say a special thank you to all of those people for taking the chance to be here, because the energy and the atmosphere at the event this weekend was absolutely brilliant. There were some amazing gaming moments as well as some incredible paint jobs, and we're going to look at all of that right now. But before we dive into any of that, I think one of my favorite bits about this event was that it was an international GT. And this isn't the first time we've had people travel from overseas to come and play at the events. But this weekend, we had a superstar traveling all the way over from Spain. Although not originally from Spain, originally playing 6th edition Warhammer over in Romania. The story behind this is pretty cool, because at one of our previous events, or an event report that I did, we saw that there were no Dark Elves playing at the event. And having seen there were no Dark Elves, he decided to get his old 6th edition army out, paint it, get a ticket, travel over here to the UK and play. I was able to speak to him, and it's such a cool story. Listen to him now. I'm joined by Kelu.
From Romania.
From Romania, but currently living in Spain?
Yes, Malaga.
Malaga. And before you got here, you've traveled over for this event, yeah?
Yes, this was my birthday present.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. It will be in 2 days.
Okay, all right. But the reason that you came over, is this right? We did a show and no Dark Elves were in the ranking. So you decided to bring the Dark Elves.
I decided to do lots of things. First of all, I decided to get back into Warhammer because of you and Val.
That's very sweet.
Well, I'm blushing. Second, I like your shows, so I wanted to meet you. Mm-hmm. Third, I wanted to play here, and it was on my bucket list, not necessarily to play here, but to play outside of Romania in tournaments since I was playing 6th edition. Okay, so I combined all this. 3 months ago, bought the ticket, bought the plane tickets, and after that it was Airbnb and just moved my ass here. Oh, also I had to paint.
You had to paint?
Yes, I had to paint. So I also took your advice. Work, break between meetings, paint. 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 10 minutes here. Okay, so I got the army decently painted, I would say.
That's wonderful. Yeah. How does playing here compare to playing in Spain?
Well, it's different. People are different. Culturally, it's different. In Spain, they get some rules in a different way than here. So I would say it's good to see different way of playing the game. Okay, because things change. Example: if in Spain somebody would charge a war machine, the war machine would only hold. Okay, here I get to flee. So for me as a Dark Elf, used to fleeing a lot, that was one of the reasons why I don't field war machines, because I can't flee with them. Okay, so would I have known that I can flee? Maybe I would have brought some bolt throwers. Maybe.
How was playing the Dark Elves over the weekend?
Fun. It was fun, yeah. I get to meet new people, play armies I don't have in my area, and, well, best in all, the Malay restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. Spicy, very spicy.
And then lastly, what was your favourite game over the weekend?
I can't differentiate. All 5 of them were amazing.
Oh,
no, I can't make a difference, really. So all of them were really, really, really engaging. Okay, all of them, let's say, posed a challenge, and all of them are completely different. So I had 5 different armies, 5 different play styles. Everything had to play different from one game to the other.
Perfect.
So it was fun.
Any advice for people who are thinking of traveling for tournaments or just trying to play at events?
Do it before you have kids.
Thank you very much. We're talking about the meta at the event. It was very shooty and very dragony. I think that's a term. We had a lot of dragons and we had a lot of shooting. And it felt like if you were trying to build a list that was going to work well into any of that, you needed to deal with both of those two things at the same time, which is not the easiest thing to do. A special shout out goes to James Ramsey, who is my hot pick for the weekend, playing his Tomb King's bow army. Unfortunately for James, he wasn't able to make it to day 2 due to a family emergency, and so had to go away, leaving him undefeated at 3-0, but obviously unable to win the event, which meant we ended up with a really tight race to the finish, with what seemed to be a battle between Jake and Sam on the final table going to be the decider, with the High Elves playing up against the Beasts of Chaos. Interestingly, both these two players drove here and are friends and ended up driving home together, so whatever the situation, it's going to be a frosty drive home. Sam was able to get a massive win out of that match, and I was lucky enough to be able to talk to Sam about his High Elf army and how it played. Pip to the post for first place. How are you feeling about the games over the weekend?
Yeah, really good. Gutted that it was by a point, but yeah, it is what it is. Running High Elves. The Super Dragon, Puff the Magic Dragon, as it'll be known.
So, can you tell us what was in your list?
So running High Elves, it was a Prince on a Star Dragon with a great weapon, 5 up ward save, 5 up regen, and 2 Opal Amulets, so 2 1 use only, 2 up ward saves. A level 4 on Elementalism with a extra spell. For High Elf, 1-time Dispel Scroll, I think it's Sigil of Saurian, something like that, and Ruby Ring. Level 2 with Lore Familiar on High Magic and a Power Scroll. 4 times 5 Archers, 3 times 5 Reavers, 4 Chariots, and 13 Sisters.
Is it fair to say that Dragon is the MVP?
Yes, points galore. He holds points and gets me points. That combined with the Sister Star, it's 1,200 points I'm just able to keep on the table.
Amazing. What was your favourite game over the weekend?
The most tactical game was definitely against Richie. Richie got 95 points from me. I got 65 points from him. So definitely the most tactical game. My favourite game has got to be 20-0 in my old buddy over there.
Having played on like the international stage in the past, like how do you find Old World as a game?
Yeah, Old World has got to be my favourite rule set. Probably the worst written rule set, but definitely my favourite. I think a couple of tweaks and it could be really good, but overall, yeah, we're a really solid game.
And what would you say to new people who want to attend events?
Just come along, everyone, especially if you're scared of the competitive scene, everyone's a lot friendlier than you'd think. So come along, have a go. Have a crack at it.
Thanks very much. So with a big win under his belt, it looked like Sam was going to be able to win the event. However, on table 2, we had a dwarf mirror match with Richie from Dowie After Dark against Andy of Andy 2D6 of the Dwarven YouTuber Battle Civil War. It actually looked pretty tense going into round 2 and 3, with Richie having put most of his big unit up the board and Andy about to gun him down. However, I had to leave the game, and it did seem that in order for Richie to win the event, he would need to get 20 points in the differential, which is how many points you beat your opponent by in order to take the event out. And in the final turns, Andy's Dwarven gun line got pushed off the board, and Richie was able to get 20 points, beating Sam for first place by a single differential point. I don't think you get any more nail-biting than that to take out the win, and that was quite a cool close to at least that section of the event. Richie's list was an Anvil of Doom, a runesmith that was a battle standard bearer with a Master Rune of Grungy, a Rune of Battle, and 3 runes of Spellbreaking. He had a king that was on shield bearers with the Master Rune of Smiting, the Master Rune of Gromril, the Rune of Preservation, and the Rune of the Furnace. His core units were 28 Longbeards with the standard bearer with the Rune of Battle, the Rune of Courage, and the Stroller's Rune. And then his special units was a Dwarf Cart, a Grudge Thrower, and then 18 Iron Drakes with the Rune of Courage, all in his rare. So congratulations to Richie on taking out the event. However, because we had a sold-out event, whenever we do a sold-out event, we do a best overall. And this is a combination of gaming results, sports results, and also painting results. And with the truly creepy and incredibly uncomfortable Wolves of the Sea list, Tom Carley was able to win our best overall. Tom's army as miniatures is incredibly uncomfortable. Tom runs a 3D printing company, was able to get his army on the tabletop super fast, and the Wolves of the Sea is super fun to play. And I was able to catch up with Tom and talk about getting his army ready to play at the event. I'm joined with the best overall winner. How are you?
I'm bloody fantastic. Yeah, it's good. Meme list. And it works.
So you're running quite an interesting list, because one of the things I talk about a lot is the need to produce an army, and you're able to produce your Wolves of the Sea list really quick. How were you able to do it?
Having a 3D printing company really helps.
Which is
UK resin print on Etsy. But yeah, when the rules drop day one and you're in a bit of a slump for a week and you just go print, you get an army.
Nice.
But yeah, then it's just developing a technique for painting that's incredibly fast. So
what was in the list?
Just a whole bunch of skin wolves. So it's a sorcerer, an exalted champ, just 500 points of chaff. It's not worth going into it. It's a bunch of nonsense. 7 skin wolves, 4 skin wolves, and 2 giant spawns. So it just overwhelms. That's all it is. It's super duper fast, and there's just too many models for most armies to deal with.
Okay. What was your favourite game over the weekend?
Love playing against the Vampire Counts player as my first game, because Vampire Counts for me are a bit of a PTSD army. The first few events of the edition coming out, Screams were horrendous. And then I go up against him. He's got 4 Screams, but then he's a gentleman and he puts a Necromancer on a zombie dragon. It's a really fun game for it because I saw a side of the army I've never seen before. So yeah, loved that.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And what sort of thing would you tell to new people who are trying to get armies produced and put on the table? Like, what sort of tips?
Understand your strengths and weaknesses. If you are a slow painter, don't pick up an Empire army that it's 4 colours or Bretonians that are all individual heraldry. Play to your strengths. If you've never painted an army before, choose something quick and easy and learn the game and learn how to paint. You know, there's no point pushing for hours and hours and hours on something that you're getting frustrated with. Paint until you're happy and stop.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hey!
That wasn't the only great army at the event. There were many others, and the best army, player voted, went to Nick Walsh. He had an incredibly cool high elf army, running some Sisters of Avalon, Dragon Princes, Silver Helms, Chariots, the big dragons, and even a Sky Cutter. There were loads of other cool armies at the event as well. Jane Bruton is a commission painter and was able to speed paint up what I thought was an incredibly impressive Dwarven army. However, then Paul was able to show you what true speed painting was by making an entire ghost dwarf army. And I know some of you are going to say, that's just cheating. It's just, dry brushing and washes and stuff. But in Total War, there's literally a ghost character or ghost army you can play, and they're all little ghosts and stuff. So to me, it's literally ethereal, and I kind of enjoyed it. Grant Clark also had a fantastic Wood Elf Realm army where just all of the models were really clean. I really like the inclusion of some Age of Sigmar models in there as well to update the range, and I just thought it looked really nice. Toby had his incredibly uncomfortable spider army with just an unbelievable amount of spiders, as well as that super cool 3D printed foot of Gork. Another favourite army of mine is Tom Bradley's absolutely stunning dwarf army. What I like about this is it doesn't really strike a big impact at a distance, but when you get up close, it's just so good. The dwarven beard, the fire is just super, super clean, and I just think it looks brilliant. Lee had a very lurid and beautiful blue army of Beasts of Chaos, which I thought looked super fun. Andy of Andy 2D6 had the classic Goblin Green base dwarf army, which I know old Hammer fans will be a fan of. Talking about understated armies, and we have this Vampire Count army done by Dan. Every single character in this army, as well as each individual edge highlight, was immaculately done. One of the cleanest paint jobs I think I've ever seen, and he should be incredibly proud of this army. It looks stunning. I was also a huge fan of James Olver's Bretonian Knight because he did all of the different heraldry and all of the different knights, and it had this brilliant Toad Knight also in the list, which looked brilliant. I was also a massive fan of this Tomb King's army done by Oliver Jones. Just super neat, super clean. All of it looked great, and I can really see why Games Workshop wanted to launch the edition with Tomb Kings because this impressed me so much. As well as painting, there was also Best Sports. Best Sports at my events always gets you a free ticket to the next event. Obviously, I want the best people to go. And a previous Best Sports winner won Best Sports again in Lee Evans. Lee, I think, has worked out an infinity hack where he just wins best sports at every event, gets a free ticket to the next event, win it again. So he is just vibing at this point. But I want to just say a special thank you to him for coming to my events, because he's always such a bright spark in the weekend, which is cool. I think I'll do another video where maybe I talk to Val, where I talk about my impressions of the game and maybe some changes that I'd like to see in the future, especially on the tabletop. However, the thing that really impressed me about this weekend was the people. Bunch of new people. You know, you're always a bit nervous that maybe not going to integrate very well, but that's absolutely not the case. And I think if I have a final thought, then it's going to go to Jake. Jake's going to be able to tell you about what it was like playing at the event. And I think you can see, because we filmed this towards the end of the event, the energy in the room being really high. And that is the thing that really impresses me continuously about the old world. I like the armies, I like the lore, I like how the game plays a lot. But every time I keep meeting more and more people who are playing the old world, they just seem like brilliant people. And the atmosphere is great, which I've really enjoyed. So I want to say thank you to everyone who did come to the event. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, and we'll take it. Yeah. Hello. You've just been to your first TSN event. How was it?
Really good. Good opponents, good venue. Probably one of the best venues in the Midlands, definitely. No, it is. It is the best. Free beer, free drinks, tea and coffee. Nice terrain, nice boards, to be honest, and not having to have dice roll off the edge.
So you just came with a bunch of your mates from Dudley. Are they all from Dudley? Is that right?
Yeah. Well, one's from Houseowen, so yeah, all from Dudley, yeah, basically.
And you guys have been playing competitive tabletop games for a long time?
Yeah, especially Dan. Big Dan's been playing since we was about 13. Over there, Dan's been playing for years. And then us three have been playing on and off, and it was Key's first event, so we brought someone new through, so yeah, it's good to just play. And I heard you say about the team event, so we'll be down for that in the new year, and any more that you have, really.
So how have you found your games? You've been playing Beast, how's it been?
Pretty good. Just have some downfalls, but yeah, on the whole, did well against the Dwarfs. The Skin Wolves battered me. But yeah, other than that, and obviously we're not going to talk about Game 5, but yeah, well, yeah, other than that, yeah, really good. They're quite strong, quite competitive, but they do have a few downfalls.
So you guys come from like a competitive background. How do you think Old World stands up as a game?
Pretty good at the moment. Few things need changing, but like we mentioned earlier, it's a brand new game, so there's going to be some tweaking. Just get rid of the 3 save dragons with 2+ ward saves, and we'll be all right.
And what would you say to new people who are thinking of attending events?
Come along. There's never, even if you do play competitive players, normally they you learn the most by losing half the time. I can tell you that by experience. So yeah, and all 5 of my opponents from the top to the bottom was really good. So, and all fun games. So
lovely. Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thank you.